Words are more than sounds, more than just symbols on a page. They shape, they create, they encode realities. Wizards and priests understood this because they knew words could be dangerous in the wrong hands. So what would happen if you discovered that the words you use every day aren't actually random, that there is an invisible structure inside them shaping your reality? Some words drain your energy, others expand it. Some keep you trapped in the same loop day after day, while others open a portal into a new possibility. By the end of this episode, you're going to unlock a new level of personal power, because the truth is this: unless you consciously choose your words, someone else already has. And whoever controls language controls perception, and whoever controls perception controls reality. So let's get into it in today's episode of A Changed Mind. All right, guys, one of my top 25 favorite books is a book called Your Word is Your Wand by Florence Scovel Shinn. Shinn was a powerful metaphysical teacher in the early 1900s, and in her book, she wrote, "Man's word is his wand filled with magic and power." So she taught that you must avoid negative speech because it is the act of self-cursing. Super powerful, right? She said, "Man is punished by his own words. Do not speak of lack or limitation. Speak success into existence." So how often do we predict our future? Through complaining or through worry? We say, it's not going to work out for me. What's the point? Look at everything going on out there. Times are tough. Nobody ever appreciates me. Well, these are spells. See, we learn spelling as children, how to construct words, but spelling is literally spellcasting. And when you speak ill of yourself or others, you curse yourself and others. You create the very conditions that you complain about. But Florence Scovel Shinn also said that spoken blessings is the highest form of spiritual magic. So she taught that when you bless your money, it blesses you. When you bless your enemy, you rob him of ammunition, right? These are some of the teachings of Christ. Blessing changes the vibrational field and opens the possibility for miracles, for synchronicities, for new opportunities, and divine alignments. So in the space of proper speech, God can perform miracles. This is the power as well of affirmations, right? You bless a situation before it's changed, and you compel it to change. And that's why affirmations were such an important part of Florence Scovel Shinn's work. She would have powerful affirmations like, "New doors of activity open for me now." You see, this is a command. Another affirmation she uses is, "Endless good now comes to me in endless ways." Right? This is you dictating how reality will work for you. And whether you believe in affirmations or not, at the very least, you're no longer speaking curses over yourself when you are affirming, right? Think about the inner dialogue running behind the scenes all day long, right? A lot of negative self-talk. When you affirm, you silence the self-cursing, and your inner dialogue and spoken word very soon becomes your outer reality. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the creative sequence, how thoughts become emotions, how emotions become speech, and speech becomes action. Because what you'll see is that speech is very, very powerful. If you speak negatively about yourself all day, can you create opportunities? Is that the mindset of success? If you're always talking about how hard it is to make money and what little money you have, do you think you're going to become a wealthy person? So just on a practical level, clearly the answer is no. What's also important to understand, however, is that speech is one of the first forms of action. So what motivates your action? What comes before action? Well, it's emotions. Emotions and the way you feel determine what you do or do not do. And your emotions determine what you say. And before emotions comes thought, right? We think something, then we feel something, then we do something. So if we look backwards, thought is the most subtle vibration. It's the weakest vibration. Emotion is a step stronger. Now your whole nervous system is resonating with that frequency of the thought. And now you start to take action. Action is the strongest expression of frequency and the most common action we take on a moment-by-moment basis throughout our day. Think about it. You do this more than anything else, is to speak. So if you believe your thoughts create your reality, imagine what your words are doing. It's like a strong stroke within the matrix of reality that puts off a powerful frequency and vibration that catalyzes your reality. Now, this isn't just something that metaphysical teachers talked about or the ancients. A personal development teacher who I really liked before he passed was Trevor Moawad. And he talked about the power of external language. So Trevor was on Impact Theory about the same time that I was on Tom Bilyeu's show. And I loved his interview because he talks about how he uses the power of language to train elite athletes. And so he trained professional and collegiate athletes to peak performance. And the single most important tool, according to him, that he taught was this: change the words you use. What he said was, it's a lot harder to kind of catch your thoughts, but it's very easy to catch your speech. And he found that external language is exponentially more powerful than internal thought. So his research showed that when you say something, it has 10 times the influence over you compared to when you think it. And saying something negative actually has a 40 to 70 times greater impact on you than saying something positive. So really, he's saying the same thing that Shinn said. You bless or curse yourself with your words. I don't know if you're familiar with Bill Buckner. Most people know Bill Buckner, especially in American sports. Right? It was Game 6 of the 1986 World Series, the Boston Red Sox versus the New York Mets. Mookie Wilson hits a routine ground ball. Buckner bends over, misses the ball between his legs. The Mets go on to win the World Series after that game. What most people don't know is this: 19 days before that game, in an interview, Buckner was asked about the pressure of winning the World Series. This is what he said, quote, "The dreams are that you're going to have a great series and win. The nightmare is that you're going to let the winning run score on a ground ball through your legs." Exactly what happened. Your word is your wand. The words you speak influence your subconscious mind, and they influence your reality. Hey, it's David. Just a quick interruption to your regularly scheduled episode by your favorite sponsor, moi. I want to tell you about my book. It is available on Amazon right here, right now. A Changed Mind. Go beyond self-awareness, rewire your brain, and re-engineer your reality. In this little book are all the frameworks, the tools, the methodologies that I talk about on this show and that I've used to actually change my mind, and that tens of thousands of other people have used to transform their bank accounts, their businesses, their relationships, their health, their spiritual connection, everything that you want to achieve. This is the way to achieve it. And Amazon has done us a good one right now. It's significantly discounted, so you can go and pick up your copy, or better yet, pick up a copy for a friend too. There's nothing better than giving the gift of transformation right now. Hop on over to Amazon. There's a link in the show notes. And if you love the book as much as I loved writing it for you, do me a favor, let me know that and leave a review. And now back to your regularly scheduled episode. I don't know if you've ever heard of Masaru Emoto and his water experiments. So Emoto placed water into different containers, and then he labeled each bottle with a specific word or phrase. Some of the bottles were labeled with love or thank you, others with negative words or emotions like you disgust me or I hate you. And he left the labels on there for several hours, and then he froze the water. So after he froze the water, he photographed the crystals of the water. And according to his photos, positive words produced beautiful, symmetrical, snowflake-like crystals, while negative words produced distorted, fragmented, or chaotic formations. So he claimed that written words, spoken words, and even the emotional energy projected toward the water influenced how the crystals formed, and that spoken words had an even stronger effect than written words. Now, Emoto's work was criticized by mainstream science for lacking rigorous controls, but whether you view the experiments as literal or metaphorical, they illustrate something undeniable. Words carry vibration, and vibration influences form. So think about this. Your body is made mostly of water. So the way that you speak to yourself and about yourself shapes your inner environment emotionally, neurologically, and physiologically. Even if you dismiss the photography of Emoto, the metaphor remains powerful. Positive language expands you, negative language contracts you. And in every moment, your words are imprinting the chemistry of your life. Now, most people struggle with limiting beliefs. It's a testament to why this show has become so popular. And I know that from my own experience. We understand that we're creating our reality, that our thoughts, our beliefs are creating our reality. Now we're talking about monitoring and managing and transforming the way that we think through speech. We have these limiting beliefs like money's hard to make, or I can't trust people, or if I want to get it done right, I have to do it myself. But I want you to think for a moment about where these beliefs come from. They were spoken to you. They were literally spells that were cast upon you. They became reality because they became your words. So people spend years trying to reprogram their limiting beliefs. And if you want a really strong and effective hack around this, here's what I suggest. Stop speaking them. Every time you repeat the belief, you relive the moment it was spoken to you. But here's the thing. Every time you have the urge, every time you feel compelled to say it and you don't, you actually choke off its oxygen. You starve it of sunlight. And eventually the weed of that limiting belief shrivels up and dies. And this isn't just philosophy, it's neuroscience. Again, this is what Trevor Moawad found to be so successful in training peak performance athletes. Stop saying the negative program. And this is based in neuroscience, because when you catch yourself before speaking a negative pattern, you actually interrupt the neural networks of your brain. You cut off the pathway of that psychological and emotional habit from your mind to your mouth. It's like a circuit break. And practice consistently, you literally resculpt your neural pathways until the limiting belief dissolves. In the same way, you can kill old beliefs. You can actually speak new beliefs into existence. So this is the power of what so many great teachers suggested, like Louise Hay, whose entire work around healing your body and healing your life is based around affirmations. You can use affirmations or incantations. You can practice hearing yourself speak a new identity. And that's the true power of incantations. You know, the word incantation itself actually means a series of words spoken or chanted as a magical or ritual formula intended to produce a specific effect. This is spellcasting, right? This is the real magic. It's in the power of your words. And scripture has been teaching this for over 1,000 years, right? Over and over again, we are warned to be careful with our speech. In Ephesians, it says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths." It could not be any clearer. Proverbs, death and life are in the power of the tongue. In Psalms, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Also in James, the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. It sets on fire the entire course of one's life. Right? So scripture treats words as forces, creative forces, destructive forces, consequential forces. So it's important to understand we have the ability to transform our reality, to change the way we actually think by watching what we speak. And of course, new habits are not born overnight, but becoming aware of the power of your speech invites you to be more intentional with the words you use. And so here's my invitation to you. Notice the next 24 hours. Notice what words do you speak? What spells are you casting, right? What incantations are you ritualizing on a daily basis? And take inventory. Because what you will find is that there are certain spells that don't serve the reality you're trying to create that you are incanting day in and day out. And so you can do a quick inventory at the end of your day or jot down notes as you go along. And then practice the power of your words. And watch how your reality shifts as you begin speaking a different reality over your life. So I hope you love this episode as much as I love sharing it with you. Do me a favor, if you have not yet, if you're following along on YouTube, subscribe, comment, ask me questions below. I try to read and answer as many of them as possible. If you're following along the audio platforms, same thing, subscribe, leave me a rating or review, and most importantly, pay this episode forward, right? If there's somebody that you know needs to hear this message, share it with them. And if you want to go deeper into our community, you can check out some of the links in the show notes or down here in my YouTube store, or jump on over to davidbear.com and opt in for our newsletter, because this is not a do-it-yourself journey. This is something that we do together. So I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me, and I will see you and speak to you in the next episode.